Bobby Wagner,
doing,
future
man?
Hall of Fame linebacker,
you,
one of the
man.
best ever.
Good to see you.
Bobby, good to see you, buddy. All right, here we go.
It's my first time.
Hour
It's your
2
first
of
time hanging
PFT
with
Live.
us, huh?
In person, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've talked to him on the phone before. He doesn't remember, but
Oh.
I've
No,
talked to him on
I'm
the phone.
saying
I
in
interviewed you in
person.
person.
Right.
That's right.
It's
That's
been a
right.
minute.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you're
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
What's life been like? With, Seattle, LA, back to Seattle once again, right? How's that change of life and scenery been so far?
It's been cool. I mean, I think, for me, I've been in Seattle for a long time, so obviously I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
I got familiar with it. But going back to LA, it was just that's a life that I was familiar with when I was young.
Growing up.
It was cool. And then going back to Seattle, I think there was a mutual respect and appreciation because we stepped away for a year.
Yeah.
That I felt me and the fans had, and that year was special from that standpoint. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't do more.
Capitalize.
Yeah,
I
we
hear
couldn't
you.
do more.
Were you? Did you have any feel or sense at all that this was going to happen with Pete Carroll? Like, it caught us off guard. We're all over the NFL all the time, right? Did you have any sense that this was a possibility?
I didn't have any sense.
Yeah.
I think because obviously it's kind of like with Bill Belichick. When you think of Seattle, you think of Pete Carroll,
Right.
And everybody talks about those two, those two styles of coaching, and obviously both are very different, but both are very successful.
Right.
And so, but also that at some point it was going to come to an end. I just thought maybe Pete would have had more control of it. He stepped away because he wanted to retire or something. But he is the oldest coach in the league, but he doesn't look that way. And when you're around him, he definitely don't act that way. So I'm pretty sure this won't be his last thing. And if it is, it's because he wants to.
Yeah.
Were you surprised his name didn't even come up?
I don't know. I don't know what goes into that the coaching process, because I think there's a lot of candidates over the years that haven't got looked at or haven't got jobs that are surprising to a lot of people. So I'm not sure what goes into that. But I don't think this will be his last thing.
But from your perspective, what you've seen, especially after being away a year and coming back, this guy's still got it. He can still do it.
His energy is crazy. If you put him in front of some of the younger coaches, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, you'll be like, he's younger.
Yeah, so he definitely has the energy. It's just figuring out what they want to do with it.
Hey, did nobody tell you that you're old? You're not supposed to be good anymore? I mean,
they tell me.
They tell you. You're good. That's
They
a good
tell me all the
comeback.
time.
They're telling. Really, what you're doing is kind of incredible. I
Thank
hope
you.
you know that.
Thank you.
I'm a football historian. I mean, I grew up in the sport.
Thank you.
Middle linebackers, and what are you in 11 now? 12?
This is 12, about to be 13.
So much for a
Damn.
football historian.
Well,
Right,
I don't
he's-
remember the
he says he's a
exact.
football historian until you ask him
I
something
just
specific
went
he
off
doesn't know.
totally at the top of my head, and I
It's
was in
all
the
good,
ballpark.
no worries.
But it's incredible.
Six-time
Thank you.
first-team All-Pro.
Right.
Six-time.
It's a
Six-time.
blessing.
And
for
the passion's still there, to work in the off season and do all those things. You're still full steam ahead.
Yeah, man. I still, I take my time to, obviously let my body recover, but I try to, get going. And obviously as you get older, staying in shape and eating right is way more important, in the off season. But I'm fortunate enough I got a guy like LeBron James to watch and see some of the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
Playing at such a high level at an age where people think he should not be doing the things that he's doing. I watched Ray Lewis. I watched Lennon Fletcher.
Right.
All these guys that have really, really long careers, and fortunate enough that they were, willing to offer me the knowledge that allowed them to last as long. And so I just try to do my best to use some of that as well as do some of the things that I believe in.
What are some of the things? What are some of the things, that you're doing? Because it's working.
I think it's the change in some of the change in workouts. I think as they got later in their career, they stopped squatting,
Right.
because it's harder on
Just
their
too
knees.
hard on your back,
So they
knees,
start
all
doing
that.
more sand training,
Right.
more different forms of training. So a lot of that is that yoga, and then just the lifestyle. I think a lot of times guys, when they don't do the same things that they do during the season and the off season.
Right.
And so just making sure that that's a consistent lifestyle, I think that's the thing too.
Monday, after a 49ers game in year 2, what did it feel like compared to Monday after a 49ers game in year 12? Like, what's the difference in Mondays now?
You know, it's funny. It's not much difference.
Right.
And the reason why is the preparation is different. I'd say year 1, year 2.
You're just going.
You're just going. I'm eating pizza. Right. You know what I mean? I'm,
You're young
my
and the man.
My metabolism was crazy. So,
Right, right.
I probably had so much fast food and things of that nature that I know if I was still eating like that,
right.
I would be hurting the next day.
Right.
So I don't eat that way no more. So I think, I recovered pretty well. And I feel good.
Yeah, good, man.
You know the 49ers very well. What's the toughest thing about their offense to defend?
I think it's the creativity that they have, the talent that they have. And so they can run the exact same plays, and it could be for different people. They can have Debo can be an option one play, McCaffrey could be an option another play, then you got Kittle could be an option for another play. And so normally you come into a game, you try to stop 1 or 2 players, but they have so many different people, and then they have like really good key role players that can step in and do those things as well. And so I think that's what makes it tough. Their weapons can click at the same time, which is dangerous.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, both teams, you've gotten a good feel for both of these guys, right?
Yeah.
Mahomes, what jumps out to you in your experience playing against him?
I think the toughest thing to defend for him is the off-the-script plays.
Right.
Like the plays where he just extends the plays, or even like where, Kelsey's supposed to run a certain route a certain way, but, he reads the defense and plays it a certain way, or kind of just finds the open hole. So it's, this is one of those games where, you watch film and just understand that they're not going to be exactly where they're supposed to be.
You got to be ready for backyard.
How do you practice for that? How do you even begin to practice for that?
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. Because, again, like you said, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when they're going to go off script. You just got to be aware that it's going to happen. And I think that's the biggest thing, is being aware that it's going to happen.
And what do you do when it happens? Is it just stay calm? What do I do? Everything's gone out the window. Just go to the ball. What do you do?
So when you play quarterbacks, period, like in my opinion, some defenses allow you to read the quarterback's eyes.
Right.
And like the routes, his vision on the routes will take you to the routes most times.
Right.
When you play a guy like this, you have to be more locked in on your person, because if he scrambles, they have scramble rules.
Right.
And so if you're locked in on your guy and you just match up on your guy, it gives you a better chance. But if you're looking at this quarterback, you'll lose your guy, and your guy will make the catch.
Right. I know that's why he's the man. All right, so here's a one I got for you. Right, what's a stronger feeling, the winning of the Super Bowl, or how you felt after the loss of the Super Bowl the next year?
Man, that's a great question. I would have to say the loss.
You're right.
And the reason why I would say that is because when we won, we were young. We didn't understand. It was like year 2. We're not even supposed to be there.
Right.
And in our mind, it's like we're going to get there every year.
Right.
And so going into that next year,
2014,
the statistics were saying we were not going to get back.
Right.
And it was a challenging season for us.
Right.
Even the game before we,
the
going
NFC
to the
championship game.
That was a hard game.
Right.
But we were able to get there.
Yeah, you guys were in trouble and came back.
Exactly.
Right.
And then, we're going back and forth, and we're literally right there on the doorstep to, doing things that people said that we couldn't. And we obviously didn't finish the job. And then I think just what happened after that, the business happened after that. So you had obviously the feelings from the loss, but then you had the contracts that had to be
free
figured
agents
out.
And everybody want to go.
Everybody. Now we're not young. Now we're like, okay, we need to get paid, and now the business coming to us. But we were still able to, have our group last longer than people, expected together. But unfortunately, we just couldn't get another championship.
Just run the ball up the middle with Marshawn.
Let me ask this: how long did it take to get over that decision to throw instead of run? And were there some guys on that team that never got over it?
Me, it didn't take that long because it kind of made you more hungry to try to get back there. But I will say there's certain guys that are still not over it to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us. Go ahead.
Well, I was
You're
going to
doing
say,
good setting it up.
Well, I want to hear it, Mr. Nationwide. I mean, you're good at
Yes.
playing middle linebacker.
And he's a finalist for Walter Payton
Yes.
Man
We're
of the Year
not sure
award
about
too.
all this other stuff, so let's see it.
Nationwide,
Yeah.
our partnership and what they've done with the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, they've came across. I think this is 10-year mark of them being a partner with for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. The things that they're doing to help us and kind of push our platform. I believe it's 2.3 million that they've kind of given away and helped the causes and things like that. I think it's just been a blessing to be a part of it, a blessing to partner with them, on something like this, because I think at the end of the day, football is amazing, but what we do with our gift and what we do with, some of the finances that we've been able to accumulate over the course of my 12-year career to help other people and having them, help us has been amazing.
That patch
awesome.
that goes on your jersey when you win and what it represents, but that is the
Pretty
most
cool.
awesome patch in all of football.
Yeah.
When you see that, the old sculpture in the cape, it's just great.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best
Thank
as
you.
you are one of the
You're
finalists
worthy
this
of
year
that
for the Walter
patch,
Payton
for
Man of the
sure.
Year award.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bobby Wagner, future Hall of Famer, Seattle Seahawk. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.